Some criminals break down when confronted with their crimes. Others show fear, regret, even tears. But the killers in this video showed none of that. No guilt, no sympathy, no remorse. In fact, some of them smiled, laughed, or calmly described their crimes as if nothing had happened. Tonight, we look at 5 killers whose chilling lack of remorse shocked investigators, judges, and entire nations. And number 1 might be the most disturbing of them all. Number 5. The smiling courtroom killer. When Dylan Roof walked into a church in Charleston in 2015, he committed one of the most shocking crimes in modern American history. During the Charleston church shooting, 9 people were killed inside Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church. But what disturbed investigators most was not just the crime itself. It was his reaction afterward. During police questioning and court appearances, Roof showed almost no visible emotion. He spoke calmly about the attack and even admitted he had considered backing out, but chose not to. In court, when victims' families addressed him directly, many expected remorse. Instead, Roof remained largely expressionless. For investigators and observers, the lack of emotion made the crime feel even more chilling. But the next killer shocked investigators even more, because he laughed during his trial. Number 4. The killer who laughed. Few serial killers in history shocked the public like Ted Bundy. During the 1970s, Bundy was responsible for a series of murders across multiple U.S. states. What made Bundy especially disturbing was his charming and confident personality. Even after his arrest, Bundy often behaved as if he were the smartest person in the room. During interviews and courtroom proceedings, he sometimes smiled, joked, and even flirted with reporters. But the most chilling moment came during his final interviews. Instead of expressing regret for his victims, Bundy often spoke about his crimes in a detached, analytical way. Many investigators believed Bundy viewed the entire situation as a game he had lost, rather than a tragedy. Number 3. The killer who mocked the court. In 1991, Milwaukee police arrested a man who would soon become one of the most infamous killers in history. His name was Jeffrey Dahmer. The crimes associated with Dahmer shocked the nation and became one of the most disturbing cases ever investigated. During court proceedings in Milwaukee, Dahmer sometimes appeared emotionally detached, speaking quietly and calmly about horrific acts. Observers noted how unusual it was for someone facing such overwhelming evidence to appear so calm and emotionless. Psychologists later analyzed Dahmer's behavior, suggesting that his lack of visible remorse may have stemmed from deep psychological detachment. But for many victims' families, the calm demeanor felt deeply unsettling. And if you think these cases are disturbing, wait until you hear about the killer who smiled at the camera. Number 2. The killer who smiled at the camera. Few cases demonstrate chilling indifference quite like Richard Ramirez. During the mid-1980s, Ramirez carried out a series of brutal attacks across Los Angeles. But when Ramirez appeared in court, his behavior shocked the public. Instead of appearing nervous or ashamed, he often smiled directly at cameras. At one point, he even raised his hand to display a symbol drawn on his palm, creating outrage in the courtroom. Ramirez frequently behaved as though the trial were a spectacle rather than a moment of accountability. For investigators and victims' families, the lack of remorse made the case even more disturbing. But the number 1 killer on this list showed a level of coldness that shocked the entire courtroom. Number 1. The killer who felt nothing. Perhaps one of the most chilling examples of a remorseless killer is Anders Behring Breivik. In 2011, Breivik carried out attacks in Oslo and on Utøya during the 2011 Norway attacks. The attacks shocked the entire world. But during the trial, Breivik's behavior stunned observers even further. He often appeared calm, composed, and completely convinced of his actions. At times, he even used the courtroom to deliver lengthy statements defending his beliefs. Rather than expressing remorse, Breivik repeatedly described his actions as necessary. For many watching the trial, the absence of guilt made the events even more disturbing. Most criminals eventually confront the reality of what they've done. But the killers in this video left investigators shocked not only because of their crimes, but because of how little remorse they seem to feel. And in many ways, that lack of emotion can be just as chilling as the crimes themselves. If you found this case disturbing and fascinating, subscribe to Crime Lens Stories for more deep dives into real criminal investigations, chilling confessions, and unsolved mysteries. Because sometimes, the most terrifying part of a crime is the mind behind it.